appeals and whatnot?
Yeah, obviously the Jalen Tyson waiver was denied recently, and we're in the process of mounting a strong appeal. And we're very hopeful that on the appeal, Jalen Tyson will be cleared to play as a second-time transfer.
Are there certain criteria he has to meet to get that approval?
I think the NCAA has set forth the criteria. I've looked at the waiver material. I've been looking at it for months. And obviously, I believe he has a very, I believe it's extremely important for Jalen Tyson to be granted this second waiver. Not only for himself, but for every other student athlete that finds himself in a situation like this in the future.
What makes his special then? Why would they deny it and yet you think it deserves to be approved?
As far as why a waiver is denied, I do not have the information to talk about that because I wasn't in the decision-making room. But as far as why it should be approved, I've seen the content of the material in the waiver, and I believe that this falls within the guidelines that the NCAA has set forth.
What makes you confident they will reconsider it in that way?
You're asking what makes me confident that they will? I'm extremely hopeful that they will because of what Jalen experienced in previous situations. And so I'm extremely hopeful that whatever reasons were given or whatever reasons factored into the denial of Jalen's waiver, I'm truly hopeful that people will look at this very objectively and say, okay, we need to take a hard look at this. Because if you set this precedent, that is not a good precedent to set.
So are you presenting some information they
I'm not
previously didn't have?
I'm not presenting any information whatsoever. I'm not presenting any information whatsoever. I'm simply saying that I was disappointed that the waiver was denied, and I'm very hopeful that upon appeal, he will be granted the waiver.
How does he impact this team if he is on the court for you this year?
Jalen Tyson, since he got here to campus, has been a fantastic basketball player. He's been a fantastic teammate. He's been a fantastic part of this community. He's incredibly talented on the court. He's a phenomenal teammate, and he's done everything asked by his teammates, by the coaching staff, by this community here. He's been a pleasure to have on this campus representing Cal.
Has it been hard for you to plan, not knowing for sure if you have him or not?
I think anytime there's that uncertainty, there's a challenge, but it's a challenge that we're absolutely working with. And again, I'm very hopeful that cooler heads will prevail and that Jalen will receive this waiver.
What does Jalen bring to the court as a catalyst?
Jalen Tyson's a leader. He's great on both sides of the ball. He's someone who will get after his teammates and hold them accountable. Jalen is a tremendous basketball player in terms of instinct, in terms of talent, shooting ability, rebounding. Jalen Tyson's a great passer. And so he has just been fantastic here in this program.
Fair to say he brings those intangible things to a team that can take them to a different level?
No question. No question. Jalen Tyson, again, he's got the intangibles. He's in phenomenal shape. When we did our conditioning test about a month ago, he was right at the front with one other player. And so he's just been kind of the epitome of professionalism since he's been here at Cal.
How does it interrupt the flow of things if this appeals process takes you into the season?
Well, I'm not going to try to speculate on that. I'm just going to try to tell you that as a program, as a team, we're going to do everything possible to support Jalen Tyson, to help him as he goes through this appeals process, and to hopefully get a positive resolution on it.
If Tyson's not ready to go, who do you see taking that role?
We'll figure. Obviously we've been working through 3 different scenarios, and we have plenty of players on this team who are able to step up.
Talk about where your team is right now and what you like about what you're seeing.
Yeah. What I really like is the ball movement. Our guys are very unselfish. The ball's been moving. Guys have been sharing opportunities on the court. We have a lot of different ways to attack. We have a lot of different guys that can score in different ways. On the defensive side of the ball, we have great rebounding, and we have the ability to play strong transition defense. Deflections will be something that I think will be up this season, and excitement.
Who surprised you?
Who surprised me? I think in a way, a lot of different players have surprised me. We value skill development, and we've really seen a number of players take a step upwards this summer. I think Fardaz Zamak has been, a really strong catalyst for this team. He's in world-class shape. He's added to his game, and he's a guy that I know well from Utah Valley, but I think he'll be ready to have a really strong year. Devin Askew's completely healthy. And Devin's just been, I can't say enough about Devin Askew, his performance on the court, who he's been off the court, his basketball IQ. Askew probably has one of the best basketball IQs that I've been around in my career. I like Jalen Celestin coming back from injury. He's made some big shots, especially lately in scrimmages against other teams and also scrimmages against ourselves. You look at a guy like Grant Newell. You know, he's expanded his game. Jalen Cone is someone who, you know, as a point guard can do so many different things on the court. The leadership, the shooting ability, the ability to penetrate in the paint and make his teammates better.
What's your ideal rotation? 8 players, or do you see going deeper than 8 with this? You've got a loaded roster.
Yeah, you know, at this point, we'll definitely have a rotation that we try to stick to. And that being said, I've told our players, I said, guys, no matter what the rotation ends up being, whether it's 7, 8, 9, or 10, everyone is going to be able to contribute to winning on this team. Whether it's on the court in key situations, whether it's in practice, every single player is going to be able to contribute.
Can you lock down your starters yet?
Yeah, I mean, we're moving in that direction. We'll announce that when we're ready to announce that.
Can you touch on some of the walk-ons that you've seen? What you've seen from them from practice?
Yeah, you know, we have a number of walk-ons. We have 6 walk-ons, okay? And each walk-on brings something different to the table. Start with Gus. You know, Gus is a veteran player. He's played Division I basketball for a couple of years. He can go out there. He's not afraid to mix it up. He can make a 3. He gets a lot of putbacks and puts them right back in. You got Jack, kind of a heady, strong player. He shoots a 3, can get into the paint. That brings kind of that experience from modern day. You got Ren, who stepped up, you know, in key situations last year for Cal. He can just shoot the ball, great 3-point shooter. And then we have 3 additional players who just joined the roster from an open tryout here at Cal, which is important to me as a coach to give people the opportunity to come out. They'll be primarily scout team players to begin with. They could grow into more.
What did Cone show you when you were running against him last year that made you want him on this team?
Oh, we played Northern Arizona twice, and each game could have gone either way. Cone is someone, when he steps onto the court, he commands so much gravity because of his abilities. Again, as a point guard, he leads, he distributes, he can make a shot from anywhere on the court. And, you know, Jalen Cone's leadership has been outstanding. You know, he's not the largest in stature. You can't measure the size of someone's heart. Jalen Cone has a huge heart. Got a lot of Jalen's on the team.
Did you have any idea what to expect from Devin? He went through, obviously they had a hellish season last year.
Yeah.
What's his attitude been like? Is that all behind him fully? And where on is he sort of a combo guard, or how do you look at that?
Devin Askew can play multiple positions. He can play point guard, he can play the 2, you can even slide him to the 3 at times. And he knows all the different positions. His attitude has been outstanding. His play on the court has been outstanding. We're expecting great things from Devin Askew this year. He's shooting the ball even better than he shot it last year.
There's a sense that he's a guy who might be better with good players around him, and didn't have a lot of players around him last year. Are you seeing that he flourishes with your good guys?
Devin Askew's a fighter. Devin Askew's a fighter. He's someone that has kind of a never say die attitude, and he's someone who makes everyone around him better.
What's been the most challenging part of this rebuild for all so far?
There's been a lot of challenges. I mean, we're in a new basketball environment in terms of the transfer portal, in terms of NIL opportunities, in terms of, you know, potential travel that we'll be doing cross country next year. And so it's looking at every single challenge and having plans and preparation in place to handle each and every challenge.
You've made a point of bringing in alumni and friends of the program over the past. Why is that so important to you?
Well, you look up at this beautiful and amazing arena, Haas Pavilion. I mean, this has been built, obviously, with the effort and energy of the Haas family, but so many others as well. All the players that have come through this program, all of the coaches, all of the students that have filled up these seats. Everyone has a huge part in this program. And so this is an inclusive program. This is a program that welcomes every single player and alum back, and we'll do that as long as I'm here.
Early after your arrival, you said this team should compete to have the biggest turnaround in NCAA history. Now that you've had a chance to work with the guys for a few months, see what you've really got, how they mold together, do you still feel the same way?
Yeah, we absolutely have that potential. We're going to have to play extremely well. We're going to have some games where we have some huge individual performances from players. As coaches, we're going to have to be close to near perfect in our preparation, our scouting. but it's absolutely possible.
You talk about the 2 freshmen you have and sort of how they're developing so far and what you expect their roles to be.
Yeah, let's start with Devin Curtis. I mean, a 7-footer, a guy that can stretch out and shoot the 3. Good shot blocker, a great attitude. Devin, when he steps onto the court, he's always working. You know, he's someone that wants to be the best version of himself. He's somebody who can impact the game just by stepping on the court for spacing purposes. In terms of Rodney Brown, Rodney can play multiple positions. You know, at times we had him at a point guard position this summer. At times we had him at a 2. He shoots a 3. He's great at putting the defender on his hip and shooting mid-range pull-ups. And his defense is, you know, gets better every single day, learning all the different rotations.
What do you want your team's personality to be on the court?
Toughness and never stop playing, never stop fighting, never give in.
Are you seeing that in practice?
We've seen it in a lot of the practices.
What was it like for you that you get here and have to go through the whole conference uncertainty process immediately, and how was the impact of recruiting, kind of having some more clarity on that?
Yeah, I think it's helping our recruiting because obviously this staff and myself, we have strong West Coast ties, but now we can go to the East Coast and you know, we're in the process of recruiting heavily on the East Coast, and more will be announced later. But now we can tell the players' families in different regions, hey, your son can come to Cal. You're going to see him, you know, throughout the next 3 to 4 years, because we'll be traveling out to your region and playing games, you know, in North Carolina, in the Georgia area, you know, and the families are happy to hear that.
You got your first game of the season less than 2 weeks out. What's the confidence, the attitude of the team before that?
Yeah, very, very confident, very upbeat, very excited. St. Thomas is a great team, and then, you know, they've had a lot of good wins in the history of their basketball program. I know them well also because I lived in Minnesota back when they were a D2 or a D3, and they were knocking people off then. And so we intentionally scheduled a difficult opponent, knowing that we want to push ourselves.
What do you expect to see from the team in that first game?
You know, I expect to see us go out there and to compete, to execute, to play hard. When mistakes do happen, to continue to play through them.
Everybody healthy?